pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Sri Guru Sudarshan Acharya Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Narayan. I want to welcome all of you physically here at the Sri Narayan Dham for this Thursday satsang in Durban, South Africa. I want to welcome those of you that's watching this discourse on live feed, locally, nationally, and internationally. And I want to welcome those of you that's going to be watching this discourse subsequently when it's posted in the various groups from around the world. Our topic for discussion, the Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Sanatan Dharma. And I am explaining the Bhagavad Gita as per Vedic injunctions through a philosophy of Vedanta which is called Vishesh Advaita. And in doing so, since time immemorial. So Srila Vedas refuted 5,000 years ago various philosophies that had crept up and re-established Vedanta. Again, various philosophies that crept up, which is natural in this Kaliyug, to deviate man from the absolute truth. And Lord Sri Ramanuj 1,000 years ago successfully refuted all of these philosophies and established Vedanta as it really is. And since then, these philosophies have crept up again. And I'm using the Bhagavad Gita as my substrate to refute these philosophies which have no real existence in terms of Vedanta. So these philosophers have text tortured. These philosophers have text tortured, and when there's torture, then what happens to the essence of that person that's being tortured? Violence is experienced, isn't it? On that person that is tortured. So similarly, when certain philosophers text torture for a particular point of view, they bring violence on the pure essence of Vedanta. And as we move along the teachings of Lord Sri Krishna, you will find that this was envisaged since time immemorial. So it is a duty of the Gurus in the Sri Sampradaya to realign Vedanta and its absolute teachings around the world. And it is for this reason we are going to have as a guest on Sunday Swami Sridhar Acharya from Vrindavan. So Lord Sri Ramanuj and the 12 Alvars who is the embodiment of all the existing gurus today. Lord Sri Ramanuj is going to have 1 foot in the east and 1 foot in the west. And in a few years, Vedanta, as it really is, will be known throughout the Western world. So it is the incumbent duty of the Sri Narayan Dham, without any fear, to expound the teachings of Lord Sri Ramanuj across the globe. And it is for this reason that we are using various social media platforms and posting in various groups. Because I said that the existence of the Acharya Shyam Ramanuj Foundation is common sense. It is not necessary to take this information into towns and cities around the world if technology can do it for me whilst I'm seated here. Is it necessary for me to go into cold Russia and explain Visheshadvaita in the snow when the comfort of my bed, my kutir, is 3 meters away from there? And people in Russia are also listening to this discourse. So our substratum is common sense, and we will use whatever means that is necessary to deliver this message to the fallen souls from around the world. So, Lord Sri Ramanuj, in a sense, re-established and established the Bhakti movement in this, the 28th Kaliyug of this creation, of which 155 trillion years have passed already. So at this point in time, in this 28th Kaliyug, it was Lord Sri Ramanuj that is the source of the Bhakti movement. It is other Acharyas subsequent to him and up until 500 years ago, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who took this Bhakti movement to newer heights. However, the source of this establishment of this Bhakti movement is 1000 years ago. And that source of this Bhakti movement and Vaishnavism that is prevalent around the world, that source is Lord Sri Ramanuj himself. And even when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself delivered the Bhakti movement in his time 5,000 years ago, his first point in 8 points, he did not write any books himself. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not write any books himself. His books were written by the 6 Goswamis. And if you look at the story of the 6 Goswamis, it is similar to the story of Lord Sri Ramanuj, Ramanuj Acharya and his 5 disciples. The similarity is quite distinct. Notwithstanding, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stated as point number 1 in his 8th point, which he left himself to the world, that Lord Vishnu, who is Lord Sri Narayan, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Lord Sri Krishna is his avatar. That is point number 1. And we want to clear this as we move along. Because as per Sri Vaishnava and Vishishadvaita, Lord Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we're not going to compromise that position with any other philosophy as we move along teaching the absolute truth. So, who remembers? There's no prizes. And I'm happy to see a hall full of people. Unfortunately, I am the India Guru for today. And the India Guru and the South African Guru merged into one. And I know how to get this all full in future. Sita, I'm sorry you dressed so well for the India Guru. Sita has been combing her hair and dressing since 5. Well, you still got the ordinary South African Guru. Right, Sita? Ordinary South African Guru. Sita couldn't sleep last night. I'm going to meet the India Guru. Okay, who remembers?
Chapter 2, verse 14.
Chapter 2, verse
14.
Natasha said there will be no prizes for remembering.
No problem.
So these Vedas are created. These Vedas are created for lost souls. For lost souls and not gurus. Vedas are not created for gurus. It's created for lost souls. Gurus don't need the Vedas because they are the embodiment of the Vedas themselves. So the Vedas is to be used and utilized by whom? Ordinary mankind. Don't tell me I'm only human. Yes, that is why the Vedas were created. Because you are only human and not
Guru.
animal. With this lifetime. Okay? So we're going to look at the compassion of God through a direct example within this satsang. Who's the oldest devotee here? Who's here quite long?
Right.
Nana, how long you here?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. So how many times you've seen Shravan singing and not singing?
3 times.
3 times. Okay? So this is why the Vedas were created. God created it with compassion like a parent who is Shravan's, the Guru who is Shravan's dad. Whenever the soul enters its material domain, it is the duty of God through representatives like the Guru to bring them back home. And you can see this is his 3rd time. Every time he leaves singing, his merits are still retained. He starts as a singer again. He comes back. Similarly, in whichever lifetime you lose your spirituality, when you connect to God, your merits are retained and you connect to God at that point where you left off. God does not erase all your merits and for you to start at the bottom. So you will see Shravan's parents, both his Guru father and Guru Ma mother, a bit relieved and happy that the son is back in the home. Similarly, Lord Narayan and Mother Lakshmi, they get happy when we have satsangs like this and the universal children are brought home today. So today, from wherever Mother Lakshmi and Lord Narayan is watching, they are absolutely in a state of bliss because some of their children has been gathered by the Guru. Alright, although some people are expecting the India Guru, notwithstanding the fact that they are here, Lord Narayan and Mother Lakshmi is happy. Like Sherwin, notwithstanding what circumstances brought him here, the fact that he's here, the parents are happy. Okay? So, we need to take into cognizance all of these truths. If mere Guru can have so much of compassion for his child just in this lifetime, then imagine Lord Narayan, how much of compassion he got for the soul that is eternal, which is in every lifetime, which has been trapped in this material universe for 155 trillion years already, just in this one cycle. Like this Guru's son was trapped by the Nigerians every few months in a year. So to release him from the Nigerians, we give him latitude. We give him latitude in this life. We allow him to sing, we allow him to join us so that he may be released from the Nigerians eternally. And similarly, Lord Narayan creates representatives who have satsangs like this to liberate you eternally from this material universe. All of you understand? So let's go and see who this person or personality is that must be liberated. And Tash,
Yes, Acharyaji.
Tash said,
Chapter 2, verse 14.
chapter
2, verse 14.
2, verse 14. I think I'm a special class guru because we stuck on chapter 2 after so many months. The background was, I think, 6 weeks of satsang was just the background on the Bhagavad Gita. The Guru is really retarded, or is the class retarded? Okay, not the Guru. Have to, the Guru is going so slow. Another Guru would have been halfway through this Bhagavad Gita by now. So let us see who we are. Okay? Chapter 14, the contact of senses with the objects, O Arjuna, give rise to feelings of cold and heat, pleasure and pain. They come and go, never lasting long. Endure them, O Arjuna. Let's understand this. Okay? Let us understand this. Sense and the object of the senses. Sense, object of the senses, and the soul. Let's do a quick recap of the soul. We said that the soul, the size of the soul is 1/10,000 the size of the tip of
Your hair.
the hair. Alright? So if we take the hair and divide it by 10,000, then we take one part of that 10,000 that we divided the hair and divide it again by 10,000, then that is the size of the soul. That soul has consciousness for its essence. What does essence mean? What does essence mean? Sita, go into your dictionary. It also has bliss. It also has bliss for its essence. How many of you are looking for bliss? Why are you looking for bliss? Because it is part of you. It is a part of you that is now blocked. Bliss is a part of every soul. Bliss is the essence of the soul. You found essence? Sorry to disappoint you, the India Guru will be here on Sunday. That excitement from last night spilled over tonight.
With a striking range of a decorative and caring cosmetic products, essence is the art. He's such the wrong one. Wrong guru.
Okay, keep searching. Okay? Such a right one. Thank God India Guru did not come. He would have asked Emirates to find a flight for him tonight. Or if the flight already left, Sita, make a U-turn in the air and come back and pick him up.
Read it.
You got essence?
Yes, Gurudev. The intrinsic nature or indispensable quality of something, especially something abstract, which determines its character. Conflict is the essence of drama. The synonyms, you want all of that, Gurudev?
No, it's fine. Intrinsic nature. Intrinsic nature means inseparable. Inseparable nature. So, bliss is the inseparable nature of the soul. Now it is blocked. However, the soul, because it is its intrinsic nature, the soul continues to yearn for bliss. Because it is its intrinsic nature, the soul continues to yearn for bliss. But it is yearning through the senses. The soul is yearning for bliss through the senses. Instead of yearning for bliss on its own without the senses, because bliss is its intrinsic nature. Do you understand? And this is why you need to go through a course of self-realization to understand the qualities of the soul, the real self. To understand the qualities of the soul, which is the real self. As long as you are under the illusion that you are the body, the inherent yearning of the soul will still be there, but because of this illusion in thinking you are the body, you're going to use instruments of the body to find this bliss. So when you undergo self-realization and understand that you do not need the body for this bliss, and Lord Sri Krishna stated earlier on there never was a time where I did not exist, you did not exist, nor these kings did not exist. You remember? So if there was never a time you did not exist, it means you are eternal. You have always been there. Alright? Then it also means that your intrinsic nature, which is bliss, is also eternal. It is always there. So if something is eternal and always there, can you experience it with something that is perishable? Are your senses perishable?
Yes.
Yes. It's born with the body and it leaves the body at death. So it is perishable. Bliss is imperishable. It is eternal. So bliss can only be experienced by itself. Bliss can only be experienced by itself. And itself is who?
The soul.
The soul. The soul does not need any instrument to experience itself because it is conscious. Its essence is consciousness. In a sentence, Umeshka, when you say, I know, who is the I? And who is yourself? Not the one you powdered in front of the mirror before coming to see the India Guru. If you come to see the South African Guru, hair disheveled, any color, looks is wearing gold for the Guru. Can you see India Guru?
Time to take.
You'll never find bliss in the India Guru. Sita, you'll never find bliss in the India Guru. Because where is bliss residing? Within yourself. No matter how much you push up for this India Guru, my Guru Bhai, the bliss will only be found within yourself. And this is why Lord Sri Krishna is saying, don't worry about the senses and the sense objects. These are only instruments of the body. Whether it is hot, whether it is cold. These are instruments of the body experienced by the soul. The experiencer is the soul, the instrument is the body. The real experience is within the soul itself. So how does this bliss get blocked? Karma blocks the soul. The essence of the soul is consciousness and bliss. The soul is monadic. What does monadic mean? Quickly. Please, I don't trust Sita. I don't trust. The soul is monadic, but through its consciousness, it can apprehend everything. The soul in its pristine state is monadic, and through its consciousness it can apprehend everything. What's the answer?
A relation or function having a unity of one in logic, mathematics, and computer science.
Again in the wrong one. Please. Nomadic. 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 Sita, Guru is never wrong. When Guru says don't look, don't look. Sorry, monadic. monadic.
Yeah.
Yes, monadic.
Nomadic.
Monadic.
A relation or function having an attitude of one in logic, mathematics, and computer science.
Wrong.
Monadic and adjunction if
Carry on.
only if it's equivalent to the adjunction given by the Eilenberg. Something about maths, Gurudev. Monadic, a relation or function having an attitude of one in logic. Monadic.
Monadic means it is in one place. Carry on reading.
Monadic and adjunction if and only if it is equivalent to the adjunction given by the.
Yeah, that's right. Carry on read.
Right, Gurudev.
Yeah, read.
Monadic is univalent. Univalent.
Okay.
Mm.
Univalent.
Valent.
You understand? I'm looking for this.
Univalent.
Univalent means
One.
it is from one place it can apprehend everywhere and everything. It does not need to go to different places to apprehend different things. It can apprehend it from wherever it is through its attributive consciousness. Through its attributive consciousness. It means that in its original pristine state, the consciousness of the soul is expanded. And in its state of karma, it is contracted in whichever body it is lodged. So the consciousness of a mosquito is the size of its body. The consciousness of an elephant is the size of its body. It is contracted to whichever body it is lodged into, but when it is liberated in its absolute pristine form, then the consciousness is expanded fully. And the attribute of consciousness is a quality of knowledge. So when the soul is contracted in various bodies, what happens to the knowledge? It also gets contracted. And when one is liberated, what happens to the knowledge? It gets expanded. And when you come to satsang, the process of expansion of knowledge starts taking place if you are in attendance of a satsang by a bona fide spiritual master of Vishesh
Advaita.
Advaita. Vishesh
Advaita.
Advaita. Jai Shri Ramanuj.
Jai Shri Ramanuj.